Let's talk about the single biggest challenge for just about any business out there. It's not just finding great people, that's hard enough. It's keeping them. So, how do you build a place where your best talent doesn't just clock in and out, but actually wants to stay and grow and thrive? That's the big puzzle we're going to break down right here. And that brings us to what I like to call the employee retention riddle. It's this puzzle that every single modern company is trying to solve. With what employees expect changing all the time, keeping a team engaged and committed has become way more complex than it ever used to be. So, to figure this out, let's look at a company that actually seems to have cracked the code: Fresh Thyme Farmers Market. They dove headfirst into the super competitive grocery world and just exploded. Their secret weapon? Well, it wasn't just the organic kale, it was their people. Which, of course, begs the question, how in the world did they do that? How did they get employees who were so passionate that they basically became evangelists, not just for healthy eating, but for the company itself? How do you build that kind of energy? Well, the secret wasn't some simple perk, like free snacks in the break room. No, it was a completely integrated strategy. They wove recruitment, training, and real career development together into this incredible system where an employee's growth directly fueled the company's success. It's this brilliant, self-reinforcing loop. But what happens when you don't get this right? Let's flip the coin and talk about the problem every company dreads: the staggering cost of employee turnover. And let's be real, this isn't just about morale. This hits the bottom line, and it hits it hard. Let's actually put a price tag on it. One study, looking at just one call center, found that losing a single agent cost the company over $21,000. I mean, just think about that. That's the cost of recruiting, training their replacement, all the lost productivity for just one person. Okay, now zoom out. For that exact same call center, the total annual cost of people leaving shot up to over $400,000. Just imagine that money draining out of the business year after year. All of a sudden, investing in keeping your people doesn't sound like an expense. It sounds like a financial must. But here's the thing. It's not always about people physically walking out the door. There's also this thing called job withdrawal. This is when employees mentally check out. They're physically there, but their head is somewhere else, daydreaming, disengaged, and their productivity just tanks. It's a really quiet but incredibly corrosive problem. So, what's the solution? Well, it all starts with understanding that there's been this fundamental shift in the workplace. It's the creation of a totally new psychological contract between you and your team. So, a psychological contract, it's basically that unwritten set of expectations. It's the unspoken deal, right? You treat me right, I'll work hard for you. For decades, that deal was pretty simple. But in today's workplace, the rulebook has been completely torn up and rewritten. Just look at the difference here. The old deal was simple. Give me your loyalty, I'll give you a job for life. That's gone. The new deal is all about performance in exchange for opportunity. Today's employees are asking, okay, how are you helping me grow? How are you preparing me for my next role, even if that role isn't here? And you really can't fight this new reality. You just have to lean into it. The answer is proactive career management, a deliberate, strategic process of actually helping your people develop new skills and map out their future. Okay, so we've defined the problem, we've talked about the new mindset. Now for the practical part. What are the actual strategies that make people want to stay? When it comes right down to it, it's all about this feeling. It's not just about the money or the title. It's about feeling seen and feeling like the company is investing in you. When people believe their employer genuinely cares about their growth, both personal and professional, it builds this incredibly powerful, almost unbreakable commitment. So, building a really solid retention strategy means you have to look at the whole employee journey. I mean, it starts with hiring the right people from day one, for sure. But from there, it's all about creating an environment of clarity and growth, giving them clear goals, having open conversations about career paths, and offering modern flexibility. And of course, all of this has to be backed up by solid HR systems and competitive pay. It's really the whole package. And this is absolutely crucial. This is not just an HR thing. It's a partnership. Think of it like a three-legged stool. The employer provides the resources, the manager acts as the coach, and the employee, well, they have to take ownership of their own career. All three have to be pulling in the same direction for it to work. All right, next up, let's talk about the real make or break moments in an employee's time with a company. How a company handles promotions and, the inevitable goodbyes, that says everything you need to know about its culture. When we're talking about promotions, you need clear answers to some pretty tough questions. Are you promoting based on who's been here the longest or who's the most skilled? And how do you even measure competence fairly? Is your process transparent or is it kind of a black box? And hey, is the only way up or can people move sideways to learn new things?
But what about when people have to leave, but not by choice? Handling dismissals professionally is so important. You can see here how severance pay often goes up with seniority, but the bigger point is this. Having a fair, structured way of handling exits can reduce both the emotional fallout and the legal risk for everyone.
The termination interview, it's probably one of the hardest things any manager has to do. Following a clear process like this one helps make sure it's handled with dignity. It's all about being direct but respectful. Because believe me, how you treat someone on their way out sends a powerful message to every single person who stays. And to protect both the employee and the company, you have to ask these critical questions. Is this fair? Is it consistent? Making sure there's due process isn't just the right thing to do ethically, it's also your key defense against things like wrongful discharge claims.
So let's wrap this up with the main takeaway. Career management isn't some nice-to-have soft perk. It's not a fluffy HR program. It is a fundamental part of your business strategy, and it is directly linked to performance, innovation, and, your bottom line.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The bottom line is the bottom line. The way you manage your people, from day one to career planning to how you handle goodbyes, has a direct, measurable impact on your company's financial health.
So we'll end with a question for you to think about, whether you're a manager or an employee. Are you thinking one step ahead? Because in today's world, the best career management doesn't just prepare you for the job you have now, it prepares you for the one you'll have next.